Sri Vasudeva Rao Prabhu, Sri Varun Maharaj ji, and Dr. Debashish. Thank you for calling me for this talk, Mysteries of Memory. I had a family problem, so I was thinking whether I'll be able to come or not. But as I was thinking of the mysteries of memories, I have never thought so deeply on the memories. And then I realized that these memories cannot be formed, stored, recalled, retrieved without life. This is my realization. Maybe all of yours realization or some of yours realization. But the logos of this conference, which shows the brain with enlightening so many nodes, this is done by business tycoons, looking at the brain as a material. Brain is not. Now, why memory is mysterious? It is mysterious. Even all of this presentation, it is mysterious. Why? Because every phase of memory process is mysterious. We'll see it as our discussion progresses. Why there is no memory whatsoever in the artificial devices of intelligence? Why we are not yet sure of the mechanism of memory loss and dementia? I have a lot of works, published papers on dementia, but it is still mistake. We do not know the mechanism, how the memory is lost, how there is complete memory loss during death. Those who believe in previous birth, they ask why they are not aware of that memory in the process of incarnation of soul or its reincarnation. And then last question, without systematic purging of memory and acquisition of new memory, how can we explain evolution and transformation? If a monkey remembers when it evolves to human being, or if we remember that what we were doing when we were monkeys, that means the evolution is complete. We are behaving like as we were as when we were monkeys. So evolution needs purging of memory and acquisition of new memory. Now, engineering incompleteness of the definition of the memory. First, I wrote engineering mesh in the definition of the memory. Then I said it will be too harsh to the engineering discipline. So it is incompleteness. Now, does an electrical switch or for a fan or a light have memory? I'm switching on the light, switching on the fan. Can I say that it has a memory? No. Similarly, when a computer electronically communicates a set of instructions sequentially already programmed, following manual movement of the letters on the keyboard, from the data stored on its side, it matches who is the person working on the computer from the password already fed. Shall we call it memory explicit? Or data handling, or just data handling according to a set of algorithm? When there is no perception and no digging into the meaning of the imputed data as information. So here we are coming to the distinction between the data signal and information. Now, data input, data storage for variable period of time, data output. Are input and acquisition of data synonymous? No, it is object-subject error. Are output and retrieval of data synonymous? Never. Are storing data and memory storage synonymous? Doubtful. Can data be stored only in form of coded signal? Does signal represent all kind of information states? These are the questions we have to ask. According to electronic and communication engineering, however, computer has explicit memory, no working memory, no implicit memory. This is what happens when we do not know what the memory is. Recovering and putting soul in the definition. Now, memorizing is an active process and not a passive process. Input of data in any mechanical system and its encoding and storage is done by program presented by algorithm of a set of sequential commands. The retrieval of the fed data is merely an output by another set of algorithm. It is a passive process. It could be anything but memory. Data is not the only information state that I'm going to explain in the next slide. How can memory formation process run without cognition, without systems awareness, and without perception? How can a recall and retrieval of the stored information state be possible in a mechanical system where awareness is absent? Memory is needed for learning. In absence of memory formation, there may be an automated mechanical training, but there is no learning or education. In this sense, the term machine learning is a misnomer. Straight. Three idiots. आप इनको ट्रेनिंग बोल सकते हैं, एडुकेटेड नहीं बोल सकते. You remember the dialogue of Rancho? And that book is written by Chetan Bhagat, another IITian. Now, let us start from signal, then information, then knowledge, experience, wisdom. These are the different information states. Data of factual knowledge, if you speak in terms of knowledge, data is also a factual knowledge. This is information you can call informative knowledge. Knowledge is a formative knowledge. Experience is transformative knowledge. And wisdom is a sublime knowledge. If you speak the sequence in terms of knowledge, if you speak it in terms of information, signal is space-time construct of information. Information itself is non-digitized. Signal is digitized. It is non-digitized information. Knowledge is a non-digitized and non-factorizable information. This is information manifold, transformative knowledge or experience. And sublime knowledge or wisdom can be called information crystal. So how the signal is converted into information? Information is converted into knowledge. Knowledge is converted into experience. Experience is converted into wisdom. So this is operation 1, operation 2, operation 3, operation 4. So we have to go through if we want to develop this artificially devised intelligent system, we have to go step by step. I have not brought anything yet which is psychological or which is not known. These are all known facts. Only the known facts I have put it in sequence. Now I'm combining it with brain. Signal is related to sensation. Information is related to perception. Knowledge is a conception, hypothesis generation. Experience is theory formation. And when you have wisdom, this is worldview expression. So when we relate all this sequence through which we have to go in future, then we see the sensation is not perception. Perception is different from conception, from which you can generate hypothesis. Experience, from which you can generate theory. and wisdom from which you can generate worldview. Now I will put psychology. This is operator is mind. Here operator is self. Here operator is life. Here operator is consciousness. I think this is the gems of all of my presentation. So you must get the picture of this and you must work on this. If you want to change, I'll be very happy. If you can change, you will be the another person who is contesting with the pioneer. And this is published in the Science of Information paper in the Global Journal of Science, Frontier Research, Physics and Space Science in 2021. This paper has been published. Now, encoding an algorithm. So we have got this hierarchy: sensation, perception, concept formation, theory generation, wisdom formation. We have got the signal, non-digitized information, non-digitized and non-factorizable information. I'm not going to explain all this because it is in my paper. These are the hierarchy: information manifolds, information crystal. Now, we are at the level 1, arithmetics and algebra, encoding an algorithm, binary or qubit even. As soon as you go into perception, you need geometric encoding. Not possible at this stage. When you want to encode and make algorithm for concept formation, you need mathematics of symmetry. Here you need mathematics of supersymmetry. And finally, everything comes from a point or a moment. And that is mathematical code of a point or a moment. So you see, even in encoding the data in form of sensation or signal, non-digitized information, non-factorizable information, manifold information manifold, we have to devise the new method of encoding, new method of algorithm. Now, does example exist on this? Geometry, yes. Your Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This is a geometry, and this is affecting your perception. Now, do you have mathematics of symmetry? You take any sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Jaddapi manodhatsam, mohi buddhi nibhasha, nivosasya majjevo, ato urdham na samshaya, or bashangshi jirnani jatha gyahaya, or navani grinhati narap. You take anything, the concept is coming there. Now, theory generation, that is from experience. Aham Brahmasmi. That is a coded experience, spiritual life. Aham Brahmasmi. And then wisdom formation, just Om. So we have in the spiritual discipline all this coding system, and all this real spiritual scripture are built upon this code. And to uncode those things, to understand those things, we need sadhana. So now we can define memory, the entire phenomenon of acquisition and storing data, information, experience, events, and happening, recalling and retrieval of those is called memory. The important part of the definition is acquisition of data, etc., but not the programmed sequence of instruction. And recalling the retrievable. I recall, but I cannot retrieve. Recalling the retrievable, which when fails is called memory loss. And in a human situation, this failure is called forgetfulness. In absence of perception, there is no memory formation. And in this sense, memory is always biological, supported by life and consciousness. It means somehow life is essential for genesis of memory. How, we do not know. But life is essential for genesis of memory. And we all know that life cannot exist without consciousness. These are the acquisition of data, encoding, storage, recall, retrieval, all these things you know. Now, learning is the acquisition of an altered behavioral response due to an environmental stimulus. Environmental stimulus is the information state. Memory is the process through which the learned information is stored. And recall is a conscious or unconscious retrieval. You know all these things. Now, you come to the neuro or brain-centric memories in the biological system. The whole taxonomy of the memory is on this brain memory. It is from science, but I have just modified it to some extent. Science 2004, working and short-term memory and long-term memory, then explicit memory, implicit memory. Of the explicit, episodic memory and the semantic memory. And the implicit is the procedural memory, that task, skill, simple conditioning reflex, and perceptual representation. For your carry-home message, this memory is, episodic memory is your experience. You never forget that. Semantic memory is about the facts and concept, the knowledge, what you learn in college educations, talking to somebody. Procedural memory is mostly implicit. When you drive a car, reflexively it is coming. Accelerator, brake, clutch, A, B, C. Similarly, there are perceptual representational, that you can perceive that Lord Krishna has arrived in your heart. So if once he has arrived, you can recall that memory. So this is perceptual representational memory you can have. But this is mostly non-declarative, implicit, unconscious or subconscious. Besides that, there is iconic or echoic memory, sensory pre-attentional memory, then working memory, short-term memory, long-term memory. In minimal mental state examination, this yellow color, memory test in minimal mental score examination clinically, if the patient can retrieve the name of 3 items told instantaneously, his working memory is fine. If he can retrieve those after 5 to 15 minutes, then patient has a short-term memory, good short-term memory. But besides that, there is a photographic memory, as Swami Vivekananda, Leonardo da Vinci, mathematician, Newman, all they had, and highly superior autobiographical memory, remembering everything that happened in life, the strongest biological memory, the rarest memory. Now, memory in the context of a hardware computer. There is a memory, catchy memory in CPU to fetch and execute instruction. It is an expensive memory. Then we talk about random access memory. Memory units is this expressed in bit, bibble, byte. But you see this same brain picture, which was in the logo of this conference here. But they think that there are 100 billions of neurons. Each neuron has 1,000 synapses. So there is 100 trillion of data points. And so estimated to be 100 terabyte. But no, it is not. It can extend up to 2.5 petabyte, a million gigabyte. That is the estimated. But to stress, calculation is on the basis of data storage capacity, assuming that brain is a hardware, which the brain is not. It is all about connection. Now, best memory is at the peak of your 20s, when you are 28, 29, that is the best phase of memory. Then you start gradually memory loss. Youngest memory one can have is that memory of 3-4 years of your own age. And the memory is most effective between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Which sense from the best for memory? This smell. Once you have smelled something foul or something very good, you remember that for a long time. Now, synaptic plasticity helps in the memory formation. Long-term potentiation of the synapse. There are biochemistry has been revealed. So this is for long-term memory. It is needed. One thing I want to emphasize in the brain, everybody talks of the cerebral cortex and this one. The cerebellar memory. Even the cerebellum has a motor coordination for language, for coordination of thought, cerebellar memory. And then not the neuron, but the astrocyte, glia, the supporting cell, they help in memory formation. Now, where will you get astrocytes in neural network? There is no helping node. In biology, you are getting the astrocyte. The astrocyte, number of astrocytes are 2 to 10 times more than the number of neurons in the brain. The astrocyte is totally ignored by this materialistic science. Just to show you that limbic system, then two scientists, एक Chinese है, American है, who implanted false memory in mouse brain. You see, mouse entered into a cage, got into a shock. Now they saw this, which are the cells which are stimulated. They engineered those cells with to make them light sensitive. And then the mouse entered the cage. There is no shock, but they artificially stimulate with light those brain cells, and they get shock experience. So people are playing this in mouse. So whole experiment is there, manipulating a memory. So memory can be conscious memory, subconscious memory, and unconscious memory. Now come to the distribution of memory. Distribution of memory throughout the synapses, I'll say astrocytes, hippocampus, amygdala, cerebellum. But this is contested. Contested by whom? This gentleman, Brim. How much of brain is essential for consciousness and memory? Now look at this. I will show one picture. The picture of CT scan of the brain has been taken from a case report published in Lancet, 2007. A 44-year-old civil servant who has lost more than 90% of his brain tissue due to hydrocephalus, but lives almost a normal life with 2 children, having verbal IQ 84 and performance IQ 70. Look at these. The whole brain is empty because of the hydrocephalus. And there is thin rim of brain, published in Lancet 2007. This paper, they will hide. Now they will say, it is one case. By one white crow proves that crow can be white. You do not know, do not need statistics to prove that. According to the data's valuability, you make statistics. Here, no other data is necessary. The patient is living normal life. So minimal brain for reportable consciousness, cerebral hemisphere, not essential. Commissural system, not essential. Episodic memory, hippocampus, not essential. Apictic memory, amygdala, not essential. So then comes the alternate view, brain's memory storage is holographic. I had also the opportunity to interact for a long time with the same scientist, Brim, on this holographic storage of memory. But that is conversation. There is no record of it. Only record is the photograph of my wife. Now come to the emotional memory. Mostly stored in amygdaloid. You see, emotion, I showed that photograph, but I just passed it quickly. Hippocampus and amygdala are side by side. So during memory formation, if there is something emotion, both interact, and the emotional memory is very strong. So emotional memory is that kind of memory which makes one to relive, re-experience the original perception in substance. Reference. Now, example, memory of an accident, terror, death of a near and dear, joy of the first kiss, joy of entering into one's chosen profession. Oh, मेरे IIT मिल गया, मेरे medical मिल गया, मेरे AIMS मिल गया. That joy, characteristic, it is emotional memory is very robust and it evokes similar emotional reaction as it did in original situation. Now, what makes emotional memory robust? That I have told. Neurological reason, simultaneous activation of amygdaloid nuclei and hippocampus. Psychological reason, more involvement of life situation. Life is involved. Emotion is life. Now, effect of emotion on memory, but when you are emotional, just as I was in the beginning, your memory does not come up well and you cannot retain many information if you are emotional. So emotion is not always good. Now, memory and motivation. Now we have to go into the elementary phenomenology. Okay, distribution of memory outside nervous system. Now, you know, everybody is thinking that memory is present in the brain, but you see, DNA memory. DNA has also memory. Evolutionary concept, behavioral properties, survival and fitness for reproduction. These basic memories, they are in DNA memories. Then you come to the cellular level memory, immunological cells. They remember this bacteria attacked me before. So they keep the memory of that. Oh, I know you, I have seen you before. Similarly, T cell memory is a very long-term memory. Even there is memory in the organ, like heart. And this has been reported in many transplant cases. Heart, I will not tell you the story because this is another topic. That heart has been transplanted from a criminal to a young girl, and the girl started getting memories of that. And ultimately, it helped police to catch that criminal. There are stories like that. These are stories published, but authentication query. But I have quoted in my paper even this, that is the deep neurocardiology. I have taken one cardiologist from AIMS and me, and he is the co-author. This has been published. So you can go through my website and you can get all my publications. So these are the Shell magazine or Trends, Frontiers Research. So these people publish like that, oh, young in Vanadia, and then put some biochemical, and they think that they have done a great thing on memory. But they are talking about only biochemistry of memory and nothing else. Similarly, I do not know how, I am not a quantum physicist. The quantum computers bred anyons, long short quasi particles with memory. But how true it is, I do not know. But I saw it in the Googles and I took this picture. But how memory is stored in the nature? By holographic way. As presented it in the brain, so this classical holograph, quantum holograph, and I have a theory on the information holograph, that is the left side. Information holograph, I have a paper published, available in my website. You can go through it in details. Now, when do we get rid of memory? All systems have their own memory. Had a mechanistic system have any memory whatsoever, it will be destroyed at the level of ZPE, 0-point energy state. I'm talking of physics. Since the mind of biological system continue to work beyond ZPE, semantic memory with the mind will continue to be there beyond ZPE till the intergalactic space, where there is dissolution of mind, where its memory will be incapacitated. So our mind works up to the level of cosmological level of intergalactic space. Their mind dissolves, monoloy, mononash in your spirituality. But that happens when you reach the level of intergalactic space. So then the mind memory, which is semantic memory, actual memory, this memory goes, since mind cannot function there. Now, if you travel, astral travel. Now, when you reach at the border of the universe, then episodic memory, which is with self, and emotional memory, which is with life, will be incapacitated at the border of the universe. When you're at the border of the universe, all your memory gone. That's why probably we do not remember about our past life. At the level of absolute unconditionality, the essence of the multiversity, memory of any system whatsoever is not expected to be active. The boundary of the system, universe, is the birthplace and the graveyard of any information state. This is important. The information state, whatever I have repeated, it is at the boundary. It is the birthplace and the graveyard of all memories. If you cross the boundary of the universe, no memory. But I am telling, I may be wrong. I do not know. I have not crossed the universe. But this is the imaginary, or intellectually, you can sequence it like that. I will not say imaginary. I will say imaginary in the context of Einstein, which means imagination is better than knowledge. In that imagination, I'm telling it. So I'm most likely I'll be right. And spiritual experience, those who have spiritual experience, they can corroborate this idea or they can change the idea. Now, why memory? Why memory? What is the purpose? Memory fundamentally adds the dynamics in life, time dynamics in life, helps in reflecting on the past as past, offers the possibility of reusing all past experience for the present, and helps to ensure continuity between past, present, and future. A division of past, present, and future, it is because of memory. Two, memory is the identity of the entity. Memory defines what the entity is, karma. This is that memory in karma. Probably the next lecture we have some. Memory forms the basis of thinking. If you do not have memory, you cannot think. Memory is essential for learning. That all of us know. Memory helps in intelligent decision making. Just recall and then put input that. So memory helps in intelligent decision making, and memory helps one to go back to the origin or source. Vast spiritual significance. Memory has a vast spiritual significance. So what? You remember the last one question Krishna asked Arjuna, which all teachers ask his students, that as long I have told so many things to you. Last chapter 18. Do you remember or do you understand whatever I have told? Then Arjuna's answer, Nashtomoho Shitir Labdha. I have got back to my memory. Brainwash is complete. he has been taken to this intergalactic space by Krishna. So, Nashtomoho Shitir Labdha. Then, Tat Prasadat Maheshwara. Not that I have got it. It is Tat Prasadat Maheshwara. Sthito Hosmi. Gato Shandeha. Karishye Bachanam Tabo. All doubts are clear. अब जो बोलेंगे मैं वही करूंगा. Brainwash complete. Means all this memory has gone into the washing machine, and washing machine is the intergalactic space or inter-universal space. सबके लिए common washing machine. अब उधर चले जाओ, अब सब memory wash हो जाए. That does not mean it will take your fabrics. It will take the dirts. Fabrics रह जाएंगे. That is karma. And then you go to the Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. So if evolution is considered a gradual process of mistake correction, many people say it is a mistake correction process. Spiritual transformation seems as a process of gaining back the lost memory of the originality, which I was, which I am. So you are going back to your memories and ultimately you're regaining your original memory. So it has a first spiritual significance. Memory and intelligence, intelligence and genius. I'm not going into the details of this. There are some scientists or technologists who are very candid. Edo Liberty, the founder and CEO of the Pinecone. While AI models such as GPT from OpenAI are trained on billions of pieces of data, they don't remember anything you show them or even anything they give back to you. AI models are stateless. They have no memory. And we are teaching in IITs machine learning. Namaste. AI is only signal-based memory. Now, if AI has any signal-based memory, a cell or human being has also a signal-based memory. But why AI has no signal-based memory even? They do not have. But still, we have signal-based memory as a human being. It is because our signal inside biological system is supported by life, supported by consciousness. So their signal-based memory forms, working memory forms. But in a machine, since it is not supported by life or consciousness, they claim that they have a signal-based memory, but they do not have. Memory is not formed. And you saw the quote. AI could be programmed to detect content created by AI. Caution. Occasionally, AI delivers output that is not in the program. This is the source of apprehension and danger. So these two great men were called in the White House, Pichai and Nadell. Amid alarm over AI, White House summons Nadella and Pichai. But consolation, artificial device of intelligence cannot operate across ZPE. कुछ नहीं कर सकता है, वो अपने आप को डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकता है और मटेरियल को डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकता है. We can work across ZPE, 0-point energy. So artificial device of intelligence can never become conscious. So ultimately we have to consider, now focus on the all physicists I'm talking to, 0-point energy state ka physics. The physics of 0-point energy, that is the Einstein's cosmological constant, which he abandoned. And my proposition is that at ZPE, system physics, system psyche communicate, system multiverse, and the system biology communicate. This is my construction, maybe right, maybe wrong, published. Now, programming biological cell versus programming the artificial device of intelligence. I never call it artificial intelligence. I call it artificial device of intelligence, ADI, not AI. But Modi ji udhar America mein jaake bata diya jaye, AI means American and Indian. It is the age of AI. So these are rhetoric. These are rhetoric. And similarly, when I came yesterday, day before yesterday, Times of India mein speaking tree mein ek hai. Can artificial intelligence take over the super intelligence? Neither he knows, the writer, what is artificial intelligence, nor he knows what is super intelligence. But they are the people who are writing. So we must start writing. We must spread the views that intelligence cannot become actual unless it is supported by life and consciousness. Life cannot be there without consciousness. So even if you do not come to consciousness, you say unless it is supported by life. So this is the diagram. My paper is coming, probably next week it will come. Proofreading chale gaye. Publication date is 6th, yesterday, but it is over. But they have not uploaded it because they will show me the proof, then they will upload. So even in the cell, if you look at, cell has a signal networking, polypeptides and the receptor protein. Then there is information communication, tier 2, and there is coming tier 3. And let me explain to some extent. Tier 2 may all these osome, ribosome, peroxisome, ferrosome, lysosome, inflammasome, signalosome, their organogram of organellosome, the chote organelle inside the cell. They're mostly membrane bound and mostly puckered protein. Puckered protein means very weather-beaten birds. These proteins have gone through several convolutions of life in life. So they're very experienced protein which has been compacted and put in a membrane. There are two which are not membrane bound. One is ribosome and another is proteasome. So most of them are membrane bound, but all of them are puckered protein. Puckered means ekdam compacted protein. Now, question here is come, can you put this ribosome in these osomes in the chips? DNA chips से नहीं होगा, memory बढ़ेंगे, but काम नहीं चलेगा. So you have to bring this osome, that is the frontier of research in AI. And then the third tier in cell, the cell is also open. Cell is in also contact with the universe. Cell is also a single cell. Cell is also contact with the multiverse. Even it can go beyond the boundary of the universe. And there, who regulate that area? Who regulate that area? This non-observable but influentials. Non-observable but influential. Politicians. को भी लिखता है जिनको मारो, ऐसे इशारा कर देता है, इनको निकाल दो. Somebody will kill that. These are non-observable but highly influential. West Bengal is a great example of that going on. So, but in cellular concept, who are they? That is self, life, mind, and consciousness. Operation 1, operation 2, operation 3, operation 4. जो उस स्लाइड में जो है, these are non-observable but influential. So my self is influencing my signals. My life is influencing my signal. You cannot observe who is life, what is self, what is mind, but they are popularly known as mind, operation 1. Scientifically known as life, and spiritually known as consciousness. So in spiritual term, it is consciousness, aap jo bhi bolo, but consciousness is also a scientific term. That is another lecture, so I will not go into that. Now towards conclusion, enhancement of memory. In the morning, there is a great talk on how can increase your memory. So the general lifestyle, then avoid following as much as you can, big screen, GPS, alcohol, certain drugs, practice repetition, reverse memorization. They say that if you can recite the Bhagavad Gita from last 700 sloks, first slok, then you have learned Gita. Reverse memorization. And then use of acronym that medicine we use, mnemonics, abbreviation, and grouping of data. Suppose my phone number 9999 400 332. So if you group this, then also you can remember. But generalization is said the extra weight, sleep well, good diet, the plants, whole grains, etc. Bad diet, drink plenty of water, yoga, meditation, stress management, enjoy nature, stay organized, socialize, keep yourself busy. That what I am keeping after retirement myself. And memory loss. While alive, Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, familial, during death, no remembrance of past life, memory of reincarnation. There is a work of Ian Stevenson. I had the opportunity to, Ian Stevenson interviewed me to make the member of the scientific exploration community of America when I was an assistant professor. 1 hour interview in Delhi. He came to Delhi, he called me from All India Institute and interviewed me. When I had coined the term supracortical consciousness. He said, you are a pathologist, but why are you talking of consciousness? You should do pathology. I replied that if Columbus would not have left his land Spain and went to that seashore, he never could have discovered America. But he had a very nice reply. I remember that. He said, but Columbus was an experienced sailor. You are not. So even that Ian Stevenson से मेरे personal interaction हुआ. That okay, Guru Kripa. I was not experienced sailor, but Guru Kripa has brought me here. Alzheimer's disease, a new epidemic. I don't remember. The neuronal loss, amyloid deposition, neurofibrillary tangle formation, factors leading to Alzheimer's disease, so many things, but actually we do not know why the memory is lost. So conclusion, following consumption of a vast knowledge on memory, vaster remains its mystery. The mystery of memory is intertwined with the mystery of life. At the end, the presentation evokes the question, what is life? So we need to combine these two. All these Nobel laureates sitting here, and all these Upanishadic scholars are sitting there. Thank you for your attention. And this is my spiritual Gurudev, Swami Swarupananda Paramahansadev.
Thank you, sir, for this thought-invoking presentation. I'm sure the audience is left wanting more. So I now pass on the mic to the audience if they have any queries. Audience, anybody, any questions? None? Okay, there is one question.
Good morning, sir. It is really inspiring us to jump into this spiritual of and research. You ended with your slide, what is life? If you don't mind, what is your life you found for the past these many years, and what it made you to go further in this regard? Because you are a good researcher, you are a good spiritual individual person, and you ended the slide with what is life?
What is life? It is a non-observable influential, one of these five. It starts with information, mind, self, life, and consciousness. These are non-observable influential. Life is one of them. So I end with what is life. Because I think I have solved the problem of information. I think. So that was not my question. My question, I have not solved the problem of life. But what is life? It is a deep thought. And I got non-observable. I cannot observe life. But I can I find some clue that it is life and it is not life? So we are told from biology, oh, it grows, it evolves, it reproduces. So these are the signs of life. And then finally, when we read physiology, it is homeostasis. The homeostasis is the sign of life. Environmental homeostasis. They remain confined to pH homeostasis, osmotic homeostasis, sugar homeostasis, ion homeostasis. Okay, I am also a physiologist. I stood first in the Calcutta University in physiology in my MBBS course. So, what could we do? How could I define from that level to this level? Now, my criteria 3. If any entity which can engage itself in uncertainty, certainty homeostasis, asymmetry, symmetry homeostasis, and dark energy and visible energy homeostasis, then it is life. A Tino criteria essential to define a non-observable but influential. प्रभावशाली व्यक्ति वेस्ट बंगाल में है, आप सुन रहे हो न्यूज़पेपर में डेली पढ़ रहे हो, प्रभावशाली है but non-observable. Life is that. Life could be defined, again I am repeating, uncertainty, certainty homeostasis. No mechanical system can do that. But an ant, a cell, uncertain situation, if it falls in, it tries to overcome it. Maybe succeed, may succeed, may not succeed, that is different. But it engaged in uncertainty, certainty homeostasis. It engaged in symmetry breaking and symmetry making homeostasis. Cells are breaking, cells are organs are breaking, autophagy हो रहा है, cell अपना parts को खा रहे हैं. Now, but cell is making it also. So, symmetry breaking and symmetry making process, and then dark energy and visible energy homeostasis. Why? Look at a cell. I learned from cell. Cell is my master. The energy economics of cell is not clean and above board. You cannot explain every phenomenon of a cell by just ATP consumption or ATP production. It is not clean, particularly the protein folding. Primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, quaternary structure, spherical structure, histone. Spherical structure के बात करते नहीं biochemistry books or physiology books. So there is a spherical protein. That is the wisdom. Sphere is the compact area. So इसका energy economics is not. So cell draws energy from this 70% of the universe is dark energy. This is assumption. There is no proof. The cell draws energy from this dark energy pool. Cell can draw. A live entity can draw and convert it into visible energy. This is accountable energy. So, काला धन हमारे biology में. Namaskar.
One more question with that I can stop. Only one.
We have one more question.
Sir, actually you said you overcome with a lot of hiding people because one is also a matter. If one person proven that without having the entire part of brain, the person can live, yes, it is possible. So what is your advice to the youngsters gathered here to overcome such kind of the so-called 70% darkness group or the theory you told, certainty and uncertainty? How can we overcome in such kind of situations?
One is personal development, another is doing science. These will go together. In spiritual science, this will go together. Unless you are personally developed yourself, you cannot go to the external world to establish. So now this part, they are the master, I am not the master, but Guru Kripa is capable. The Guru Kripa is personal development. Now, scientific progress. You have to make it obvious. You have to not do that. The objective is going to be coming out. I am confident. Why Einstein is a great scientist? Because he's out of this space. He was not confused with the space. His space he can visualize. His time he can visualize. His matter he can visualize. Energy he can visualize. So he can formulate all these things, and that is the end of it. Space, time, matter, energy. He solved it, and ultimately abundant 0 point energy. He is the person who discovered, who apprehended that it is there. But ultimately बोले इसको रखो, इनको cosmological constant करके छोड़ दो. So he left there. He could not make objectivity beyond that. Now, why psychology is objective? Is subjective? Because psychology is taught in humanities. Psychology is not taught in science. But psychiatry is a science. This is very, look at this business, science business. Psychiatry is a science. Medicine. I am psychiatry specialist. Psychology is a humanities. Psychology is a human. Why? This question bothered me a lot. Because psychology, we have not put mind out. We have not put self out. We have not made life out. Even if we make them out, they are non-observant. So what would be the criteria for you, for me, to everyone, to identify that it is mind, it is life, it is self, it is consciousness, it is consciousness. So this is the, I'm asking all of them, those students, they should work in that direction. You have to find out the objective criteria of identifying this non-observable influential. This is the pathway. And then you apply that thing in the machine, if you are a technologist. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful lecture, which was really spellbound. So just I have one query. As you have shown one of the Lancet paper published in 2007, where it shows the 90% of the brain part is not there, the physical brain, whatever it is. But in spite of this, there are many studies which definitely you have come across, HM case and there are other cases. But still, the scientific community, keeping aside all those things, are going with their own thought process, saying that the brain is the vital in storing physical memory or whatever it is. But what it is the main missing link which they are not understand? Can you throw some light? What is the missing link which they are not understanding or which they might not be comprehending? What could be
There is
the
not one missing link. There are several missing links. You see, the storage of memory. Holographic, they do not accept.
Yeah.
The life, involvement of life in storing, making many fold of information, storage, many fold of information, it is not possible mechanically. How will you do? Experiences information manifold. So many, whether bitten body or. So you have a lot of experience in life. So it is not possible there. So they are hiding it is because the science is a business. Science is a politics. And okay, and we people who do not know the science is a politics, is a business, we all copy. I have also copied. So I have copied the books and I have told it. I have stood fast in the university, but how does it matter? How does it matter?
Yeah.
But now what I am doing, it matters. I am doing it after retirement. Mostly all my papers came after 2018. After I retired, when I go to a small medical college in Delhi, just to have an assignment, become professor of pathology, and kept on writing the papers. So the 15, 20 papers I published in 5 years. All this in advancement of science. So there are many missing links. What is life, you have to say? How it is stored in terms of memory, how it is stored, how it is recalled. There is no algorithm like that. Now, how the astrocyte you will incorporate into this, when you see from the aeroplane, you're landing in the city, there's so many enlightened area. Similarly, the brain they are showing as if it is mechanical, but it is not mechanical. Astrocytes are totally neglected in artificial neural network. So a lot of things which are missing.
Yeah, so just last question. So the last question from my side, when you said there's the missing links are there, and is it that the 90% is not there still, but still the person is working as
No,
normal?
we have to come to that holographic memory storage.
Okay.
Even if you take a piece of brain and you can destroy, you can retrieve the whole brain memory, even from a piece of brain. This type of experiment is going on. These should be the frontiers in neuroscience, but they will not publish such paper.
They can only make movies.
They
Fantasy.
Recently, they made me, yeah, okay, you have been made associate editor in Frontier in cell biology. And then every week they send a paper to review. I resigned. दूसरे के काम के कोई मैं बुरा बोलूं ये बोलूं अपना काम करूं. I don't want.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Done?
Sir, just a minute. We have question? Yeah. So we have questions.
So thank you very much for the wonderful talk. It's very engaging. Though it took quite some time, it appeared like, oh, already talk is over. So I have one question. The same example of the brain, 90% of the brain is. It is very shocking how the scientific community actually works sometimes. That this is just the one case, right? So then you mentioned about the statistics. Have you thought about when statistics can be applied, when it should not be applied?
Tips.
In proving something. You gave the example of white crow. Existence of white crow proves that it is possible that crow can exist in white color. Crow can be white. So there we can apply the statistics for that. So in proving something or in accepting something as a fact in science, sometimes we take one experiment as a proof that something is wrong. Sometimes we apply statistics as a measure of significance to accept something. When should be statistics should be applied? There should be some
if you think
some way
you are asking me to think in that direction.
Yeah, I'm asking whether there is something already in science or not.
No, not already in science, but as soon as you stimulated me, I started thinking, and I am saying it that you can replicate that type of situation in animal, removing this type of brain, 90% of the brain, and seeing that how much memory is retained or not. You can do it in a series of animal mouse. इसका कोई नहीं चाहिए, permission नहीं चाहिए from Maneka Gandhi or anybody to do it in monkeys and higher animal, dogs. So this can be done on experimental basis also if the funds permit, funding agency permit, if a physiologist like him takes that, okay, let me do it. As soon as you stimulated me, I started thinking that is it possible or not? So it is possible to establish this even at the experimental stage.
Thank you.
Okay, very short point. Very nice lecture, Professor Mukhopadhyay. This year, I like this point, non-observable and highly influential. So this is a very practical example. In science also, we have unlimited examples of this. For example, electron. It is non-observable, but whole hall is running with this highly influential electricity, right? Similarly, you have imaginary number root of -1. It is non-observable, but all of the major equations in physics, they use -1. So full of examples of non-observable, highly influential.
Thank you. Now, I quote these examples in my notes.
Sir, it's not, sir, it's not a question. Actually, I'll try to answer your query about the use of statistics. Actually, what he asked is, in some cases, we are relying on the fact that there is one case and we are accepting that. Whether in the other hand, there are thousands or millions of cases or studies where we are using those statistics enormously. So how this conflict is there? That's what I think you're asking. That is solely because of the fact that the brain has been explored the least if we compare all the organ system in our body. And that is, if now I will send a paper to Nature, I will find suppose 400 milligram of blood glucose in a patient as a case report, they'll not publish. That is because the glucose has been studied thoroughly. On the contrary of the brain has been studied very least, and I'll tell what are the reasons that brain has been not been studied. When I saw the search that slide, ki case report is published in Nature, I was wondered, Nature ने कैसे accept कर लिया case report? Sorry, Lancet ने कैसे accept कर लिया we case report? Then I saw the content, I realized, oh, this is the content. 90% of the brain is not there. Still, Lancet has accepted that for publication. If you generally send any, if you send any case report to Lancet, they will not publish it. They will not consider it. That is the reason. So statistics still is relevant. It will be always relevant. But the context is there. In what context you are using what kind of statistics? Yes, statistics will be always needed. It will be, yes.
But without statistical outlier, there
Yes.
is no discovery.
Yes. All the discoveries are initially outliers.
I am a statistician.